Far beyond the warmth of the inner planets, in a realm where sunlight fades into a silent blue twilight, something impossible is happening. In the icy darkness between Saturn and Uranus drifts an object that shouldn't be awake, shouldn't be active, and definitely shouldn't be changing. And yet, it is. It brightens. It breathes. It releases gas like a frozen creature stirring from a billion-year sleep. And now, astronomers believe it may be building rings in real time. Welcome back, wonderful person. You are watching Space 2 Theories, and if you love space, astronomy, and the mysteries of the universe, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Today we're diving into the haunting story of Chiron, the world that refuses to obey the laws of nature. Part 1. The night a new kind of object appeared. The year was 1977. At that time, the solar system felt like a solved puzzle. Asteroids lived near Mars and Jupiter. Comets came from the cold, far outer regions. Everything had a place. Everything followed the rules. Until a faint object appeared on a telescope plate, moving strangely, orbiting unexpectedly, sitting in a zone where nothing belonged. Charles Cowell didn't know it yet, but he had just uncovered the first centaur, a new class of objects, hybrids between asteroids and comets, and he named this strange wanderer Chiron. Right from the start, Chiron didn't fit any category. It was large for a comet, small for a planet, and wandering through an orbit that felt unstable and temporary, like a visitor passing through. But the true strangeness wouldn't reveal itself until years later. Part 2. The creature in the dark awakes. For more than a decade, Chiron drifted in silence. Then in 1988, the first shock struck the astronomy world. Chiron began to brighten, not a gentle brightening. A sudden, unmistakable outburst, as if something deep beneath its surface cracked open and released a plume of gas into space. Comets usually behave this way only when they swing close to the sun and begin evaporating. But Chiron was nowhere near warm enough for that. Water ice cannot sublimate out here. It is rock hard, motionless, frozen for eternity. Yet Chiron was waking up. Astronomers suggested it must contain exotic ices, carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide, capable of evaporating even in the deep cold beyond Saturn. Whatever was happening, one thing was clear. Chiron wasn't supposed to do this. This was the first sign that Chiron was not just unusual, it was a cosmic rule breaker. Partir, through the first hint of something impossible. The next shock came in 2011. A star drifted behind Chiron, a rare alignment known as an occultation. These events are like cosmic X-rays. The starlight dims when an object passes in front of it, revealing the object's size and shape. But when Chiron crossed that star, something weird happened. The starlight dipped, brightened, dipped again, and then rose just before the main shadow arrived. 2 dips. 1 object. It was as if something thin, circular, and delicate was orbiting Chiron. Astronomers were stunned. Rings around a tiny comet-like body? Impossible. Unthinkable. Tiny bodies don't hold onto rings. They don't have the gravity for it. They don't have the stability. But the universe clearly didn't care what we believed. Because a few years later, another occultation occurred, and the pattern repeated, 2 dips, symmetrical, consistent. Now it wasn't a glitch. It wasn't noise. It was real. Chiron had a ring system, or at least something incredibly close to one. Part 4. The comet that builds rings. Here's where the story becomes almost unreal. Some scientists don't think Chiron's rings are ancient relics from a long-ago collision. They believe Chiron could be building its rings right now, actively, slowly, silently, particle by particle. Here's the picture they paint. Chiron rotates in the cold, catching faint warmth from the distant sun. Inside its crust, frozen gases expand and burst through tiny vents, releasing clouds of dust and ice. Most of that material escapes into space, but not all. Some particles fall back toward Chiron, but instead of landing, they settle into orbit, circling the small world like slow-moving fireflies trapped by gravity. Over millions of years, these particles could form rings, faint, shifting, delicate rings that come and go as Chiron's activity changes. If true, Chiron wouldn't just have rings, it would be creating them. A miniature Saturn forming in the shadows between giant planets, a cosmic act of creation happening in real time. Part 5. A shape-shifting rebel Chiron doesn't behave consistently. It brightens suddenly, then goes quiet. Some years it grows a faint coma, a thin atmosphere. Other years it looks like a plain dark rock. Astronomers have described Chiron as unpredictable, unstable, chaotic, and alive in an eerie sort of way. Its orbit adds to the drama. Centaurs like Chiron live in a gravitational tug-of-war between Saturn and Uranus. Their paths shift, twist, and wobble over tens of thousands of years. One day Chiron will be kicked inward, pushed toward the inner solar system where sunlight will ignite its frozen surface. It might become a brilliant comet visible from Earth. Or it may break apart entirely, leaving behind shards and dust. Its rings, if they truly exist, could disperse and vanish, or flare into something dramatically brighter as heat transforms the material. Chiron is a creature caught between two destinies, and we're lucky enough to observe it during its most mysterious era. Part 6. Echoes from the ancient solar system. Chiron isn't just fascinating because it breaks the rules. It's fascinating because it preserves something ancient. Its materials are unchanged for billions of years. It comes from the Kuiper Belt, the frozen fringe of the solar system where time barely moves. Studying Chiron is like reading the first pages of our cosmic history book. Every burst of gas, every ring particle, every fluctuation in brightness carries clues about how planets formed, how icy bodies migrate, how small worlds create or lose rings, what the early solar system looked like, and how chaos shaped everything from comets to Earth itself. Chiron is not just a strange object. It is a messenger from the deep past. Part 7. A future mission, a dream for astronomy. Right now, no spacecraft is heading toward Chiron, but scientists dream about it, because a mission there would be like stepping into a living time capsule. Imagine a probe entering the quiet darkness between the giant planets. Ahead, Chiron rotates, a charcoal gray world with a faint halo shimmering around it. As the spacecraft approaches the ring plane, tiny icy particles drift past, moving silently through the void like slow-falling snow. Then the probe descends toward the surface, a landscape of deep cracks, icy cliffs, and vents that once spewed ancient gases. A mission like this would reveal one of the most mysterious worlds we know. Part 8. The last word, a world that refuses to be ordinary. Space is often predictable. Planets orbit, comets freeze, moons stay silent. But every so often, something appears that breaks all expectations. Chiron is that something. A comet that wakes up in the cold, a small world that may be building rings, an object wandering through a region where nothing should survive for long. It reminds us that the universe is not perfect and orderly. It is wild, chaotic, creative, filled with surprises waiting just beyond the edge of what we understand. Chiron's story isn't finished, not even close, and as our telescopes grow sharper, as more stars pass behind it, as future missions venture deeper into the giant planet's realm, we may uncover truths stranger than anything we suspect today. Until then, Chiron drifts in silence, a rebel world, a cosmic enigma, whispering secrets into the darkness between Saturn and Uranus.